In this video, I'll be showing you guys on how you can run Windows programs on Linux without using a virtual machine. So the program slash software we're going to be using to do this is called Wine and Wine Tricks, okay? And this is a really great program because it's not an emulator. Wine actually stands for Wine is not an emulator, the full form. And it's not an emulator, it's not a virtual machine, it's not a Docker container. It is a compatibility layer. So like Windows programs uses Windows system calls, okay? That is used to communicate with the hardware to tell what it's actually doing and what the software needs to do. And Linux has a POSIX system calls, and these two system calls are entirely different. And what Wine does is it converts these Windows system calls in real time into the POSIX system calls, or you could say Linux system calls for simplicity, and which essentially makes Windows programs to be able to run in Linux, which is really cool. And I've installed a program called Smooth Draw right over here. My system is really slow, sorry about that. It has probably like 2 GB of RAM and 1.5 gigahertz of CPU, yeah, dual core. Really low grade stuff over here. Okay, now we have the program, it is running. It does not have a Linux version. Actually, I'll show you the website over here. And as you guys can see, when we head on to downloads over here, there is no Linux version, it's only for Windows. So what I did is, I'm running Smooth Draw 3, version 3 over here. And what you want to do is first go to the website, whichever software you want to download. Maybe you already have the setup file in your computer, and if you have that, that's really good. And what you want to be able, what you want to look is this thing over here. You know, the requirements. What softwares or frameworks do you need? What other requirements addition to the software you download? Because most softwares, where if you're running a game, the game probably requires DirectX to run, right? So for Smooth Draw 3, it requires Windows XP Vista or 7 or higher. I would guess. I think it also works in Windows 8 or 10. And it also requires a .NET Framework 2.0, 3.0, or 3.5. So I'll be using .NET 3.5 in this tutorial. I'll show you how to do it. And recommended a tablet or stylus. I don't have that. That's entirely fine. That's fine. So I'm going to exit out of here. Now what you want to do is you want to open up your terminal. Really simple stuff over here. And first of all, you want to install Wine if you haven't already installed it. In most Linux distributions, I would say sudo apt install Wine, right? You do Wine and do -y and just install Wine like that. And probably if you're running a Linux and you just install Linux, just do a sudo apt update first of all. And once you've done that, you also want to install the 32-bit version of Wine, because like you don't always need to create a 64-bit version of Wine to run a program. Sometimes the program is only 32-bit, and making a Wine bottle of 64-bit will actually cause the file size to increase and some other, which is not necessary. Like if you have a 32-bit program to run, you only need 32 bits. You don't need more. So how this actually works is I'm going to open up my file manager over here, and I created a folder called Wine over here, and inside that I have the Smooth Draw, right? And inside of this, as you guys can see, we have all the system registry, user registry, and other things like that. Essentially, Wine is creating a really neat environment for the program to actually run in. I have a Smooth Draw 3 installed program files right over here, and this is the setup that I used to do that. And you can't really natively run this on Linux, but now you can with using Wine. And here's the program right over there. So this thing right over here, this folder over here is called a Wine bottle, or at least it represents a Wine bottle. And it's just like that. And if you install another program over here, for example, you want to install Angry Birds for some reason in 2020, you just create a Wine bottle named Angry Birds. You can do it like that. You can do it in terminal, just say mkdir and do that. Just create a folder first. And what this does is, if for example you create your Wine bottle and your Angry Birds Wine bottle, and you install your Angry Birds in there, and for some reason that Wine bottle or that kind of Windows environment gets corrupted, okay, for some reason you mess some things up and it's not working, it's fine. You just delete that one single Wine bottle and you still have your other programs there. The other programs are fully secure, it's fully working. So it's really safe and secure. What I'm saying is that it's really error-free if you do it like this. And I actually learned how to do this way in Linux is from Chris Titus Tech. If you don't know, if you've never heard of Chris Titus Tech, I'll leave a link in the description. Please go check out Chris Titus Tech. Really great guy, really great channel. I actually learned most things in Linux by that channel, Chris Titus Tech. Really, thank you for teaching me all the stuff on Linux. So anyway, you want to install Wine, and you also want to install 32-bit because, you know, it actually uses less space, and there's other things that I will not dive into detail over here. So I have really copied the description on the Chris video and actually doing this stuff, and actually modified it a little bit somewhere over here. Yeah, you actually want to copy this command. I'll leave all the commands linked in the description. Paste in the description. You can just copy and paste from there, and see that you have this command adds the 32-bit architecture into your Linux system, and then updates it just like that, and installs Wine32. Easy stuff, right? You just copy this command right over here. I will leave it in the description, and just paste it right there and run it. If you're using a 32-bit system, I guess Wine will automatically install the 32-bit version, and you can't really use the 64-bit versions of Wine or Windows programs. So I'm really sorry about that if you are running something like that. And that's just it. You are ready to use Wine. Now the problem runs into how do you actually use Wine. So you actually make a directory called Wine in your home folder. You cd into the Wine directory. Okay. And I got smooth draw. I'm also going to do another smooth draw and make dr. I'm just say smooth sd3 for smooth draw 3. I'm going to tap on enter, and I've created a folder. Now, how do I actually create a wine bottle? So first, you're going to do this. You're going to say wine arch is equal to, then your architecture. It can be Win32, it can be Win64. I'm going to do 32-bit right now, so this is the wine architecture that you want to be running at. And then do wine prefix. And now, what is this wine prefix stuff over here? It is essentially the path. You have to specify the path to your, wine bottle, the folder that you just created. So I'm going to say my home folder, then wine, then sd3. That's my wine directory. After that, the first time you run this, you want to do wine tricks. Run the command wine tricks. And oh, I forgot a little step right over there. Once you install Wine32, the 32-bit version of Wine, or you actually install Wine, after installing Wine, you also want to install Wine Tricks, because it does not get installed by default with Wine. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. So just make sure you have Wine Tricks also installed. A really small package, and just you want to tap enter, just like that. Like really basic stuff over here. Just by the architecture, the prefix is just where your bottle is actually located, and it will load up the Wine Tricks over here once you specify also that. Really simple stuff. Okay. Sorry about that again. My system is really slow, relatively. And I'm also recording, so it makes it more slow. Okay. Alright, now, I like to enable the silent install because we'll be installing a lot of fonts and also the .NET 3.5 in this. And I would actually install also these C++ libraries because why not? Most programs need that, and probably SmoothDraw also needs that, but they don't specify it in the website. So I would like to enable silent install because there will be a lot of messages popping up like, do you want to install that? Do you want to install this? So just enable silent install, just click on that and press OK. Then it'll come up again, and just select the default wine prefix and click on OK. And if you have done everything correctly, you will see your path to your wine bottle in the title of Wine Tricks. If you've done everything correctly like that, then you're fine. Then the first thing you want to do is install even just DLL or component. We're going to do that first. Right over here. Load it up. Yeah, okay. So I want to be installing .NET. Go down. .NET 3.5. And I'll just check that. .NET 3.5 right there. And also for .NET 3.5 things, these .NETs, if you are installing .NET, just don't go crazy on it like this, install everything all at once, just install what you need. So if your application needs .NET 2.0 and .NET 3.5, do not tick the .NET 2.0, because if you tick .NET 3.5, it will also automatically install these, previous versions. You only need the latest version ticked. So if I need, for example, a program needs .NET 3, 2, and also 4, I just tick on 4. That's it. It will install the other things that it needs. So right now I need this website. Actually go here and look again. It needs 2.0, 3.0, and 3.5. So what did I tick? I only ticked 3.5. That's good. And also probably most programs will need this, the Visual C++ libraries. And for this, Chris Tech also told some of the great things over here. You can take these. See, these are different libraries right over here. You can actually see that. And for here, see, 2015, 2017, 2019, there are same libraries in this same DLL file. So if your program, you can take from 2003 to 2013, no problem, all of it, no problem in that. But 2015, 2017, 2019, don't do that. If your program needs 2019 libraries, tick on that. It will install 15 and 17 also and combine with 19. And if your program needs 15, just tick on that. If your program needs 17, tick on that. If your program needs both 15 and 17, just tick on 17. Same thing as so. But I only need until 2013, maybe not even 2013. Yeah, I'll tick on that. Why not? why not? I usually do this, and if the program is not running, even after doing all of this, I will come back and do this stuff. And I'll show you guys how to come back and do the stuff later on if you mess something up. So just tap on OK, and it will start installing the executing .NET 3.5, all the things. It'll just do it. You just have to sit back and relax and let it do its thing. See, if you did not enable silent install, right after this message, a message will pop up say, hey, do you want to install, do you want to do this, do you really want to do this? Because of course we are doing it, so we really want to do this. So I like to enable the silent install option from the first step that we did. It's really good for, you know, saving some time. Okay. Again, saying Chris Titus Tech, great guy. I love Chris Titus Tech. Okay. I think I'm going to pause the video right here and come back when it's done all this stuff and it's actually finished. Okay, I'm going to pause the video right here. I messed up. Let's try again. Alright. Oh, it's really slow. Oops. I take it back. I need slow. Too fast. What is this? Hello? Dang it. I'm gonna die before I even know it. Oh man. Oh. This is the problems you have to deal with on a daily basis if you have a really low-end PC. You can't really seem to do much with it. Even like running web applications. Really sucks. Wow. I'm beating everyone else because I can stay in one place and they can't kill me. Boom. What is wrong with this? I have no idea. What? I pressed the up arrow. I want to go up. Alright, anyways, let's see if this actually finished or... Okay, it is spewing out a bunch of errors, but I guess it'd be good. It's not that bad because it did spew out quite a bit of errors when I did it last time, and it seemed to work pretty fine. I'm sure it's just small errors, but it's taking too long to install. Yeah, no, it's perfectly fine now. It's installing the Visual C++ runtime libraries 2003. Yeah, I'm gonna pause the video again and come back. Of the DL components that you just ticked up, it's gonna show the screen again. And once you've done that, you want to install a bunch of fonts, a bunch of default fonts that are with Microsoft Windows, right? And so you want to take these core fonts over here. You want to tick that, and also you want to tick this Tahoma fonts. It is not a part of core fonts, but yeah, Chris Titus Tech. Tick that, so I'm gonna tick it also, and I'm gonna tick OK. I'm gonna just tick OK. Okay. All right. I'm gonna pop in some Mentos into my mouth right about now. The core fonts will install fairly quickly because I already downloaded it, and you know it's cached, so it's fine. Okay. Apologies for my sounds, if my voice sounds a bit weird. I got Mentos in my mouth right now. Okay. And while this is running, if you have the setup, head on to your file manager or open up a new terminal, whatever. If you want to do it inside of the terminal, you can do it. Just I'm going to go into my wine folder and just copy the setup into the wine bottles C drive. Yay! And once you've done that, I'm just going to make it... Oh. Okay. Just adjust the size of my window. Okay. That's probably going to finish right about now. And once that's finished, like the default Wine Tricks graphical user interface will pop up, and I'll show you guys what to do next after that pops up, how to install a program, or if it's not an installation or you already installed it and you just copy the entire installed folder, then that's okay, that will work too, but maybe you'll run into some issues, so I recommend just running a setup file instead of just copying an already installed folder of the program. Running an installation file would be a lot better. Yeah, it's probably going to take a bit more time, so I'm going to pause the video right here and come back. So, now to run the setup file. So, I found a way to do it a bit more easier. It's a bit more easier than what Chris Titus Tech did in his channel, but doing it from the terminal is also easy for a bit more advanced users. But I know there are a bit more users from the Windows side of things that just wants graphical user interfaces. Yes, no, cancel, next button, all shit like that. So just take the Run Explorer button and tap on OK. And if your Winetricks just pops up, don't worry, Explorer.exe is starting right now. And of course we have access inside to our wine bottle, and this is a Windows environment running right up. And you just want to, run the setup file, double click on it, and it will run just as you would run it in Windows. And just next. See what I'm talking about? It's easy in Windows. Next, install. That's it. And boom, we just installed a Windows program inside of Linux, and I can just say run smoothdraw.3, and I will actually show you guys that it does run. So if you guys have followed every single step as told, you will probably get a working Windows program inside of Linux. So the thing to note here is, not all programs have the same requirements. Maybe some softwares, for example, if you're trying to run a game, requires DirectX and stuff like that. So you would want to install that as a Windows component. You will install Windows RDL component in the first step, and do all sorts of things like try to tweak around. Or if you're running a game, chances is that probably someone else tried to run it in Wine. So just do a quick Google search, like how to run Grand Theft Auto 5 in Wine, how to run Grand Theft Auto San Andreas in Wine, or how to run Watch Dogs on Wine. Just Google it and see what are the requirements, what are the steps that that person took in order to get that working it in Wine, and just follow that. That's probably the best way that you can do without trial and error. So if you want to delete that wine bottle, for example, you can delete the folder, of course, but as you guys can tell, there are probably when you install the smooth draw tree, you will get into this start menu. You want to remove all of the things like that, right? And simple stuff, you just say, go here, and once you've created the wine bottle, you don't have to do the wine art if you're trying to edit it, or if you're trying to destroy it or delete it. You just have to type in the wine prefix. Okay, wine prefix is equal to smooth st3, right? Just have to specify the wine prefix and say wine tricks. Okay, and that will get you other things like this. So that's what I actually said. If you said cancel, for example, after step 1 and you don't know how to get this again, you have already created the wine architecture. You have already specified the wine architecture, and a 32-bit wine bottle ain't gonna use 64-bit just because you didn't tell it to. Okay, but first, if you're creating a new wine bottle, you have to specify the architecture as 32-bit or 64-bit. But essentially, you will get into here when you say wine prefix and then wine tricks. And then if you want to uninstall, just say delete all data. And if you want to delete the whole wine bottle, say this and tap on OK. I'm gonna do this right now. Or if you want, for example, if you're running multiple programs inside of a single wine bottle, I don't usually like to do that, but you can do it, and I also do it sometimes. And you can just run the uninstaller and uninstall one specific application. But in this case, I want to delete the whole wine bottle, fully erased, no traces left. So just say that and tap on OK. What is this? Operation cancelled, quitting, delete, okay, blah, blah, blah. Oh, that's the problem with the silent install. I'm going to do this again. Ran into a little bit hiccup over there. Let me check if it's actually deleted or yeah, it's not deleted. Files are in there, yeah. Okay. Don't enable silent install if you want to delete the wine bottle. So just tap on that, delete all data. Yes, I'm going to delete all. It's apps, icons, and menu items. Yes. And of course, now if you've done that like that in that method, okay, you will successfully delete your created wine bottle. So I hope you guys learned something from this. And if you need a more in-depth tutorial, a bit more in-depth, go to Chris Titus Tech. Watch all of the videos there. If you're new to Linux, go to Chris Titus Tech and watch that. I will also probably make videos on Linux because I love Linux right now, and I probably want to use Linux more than Windows. Right? I want to use it. Most of you guys will not understand that psychology pretty much, because even my dad, most people think of Linux as some, if you do something in Linux, a bunch of errors is going to pop up, everything's messed up, stuff like that. And of course, the first 3 to 4 months I started using Linux, it was so frustrating. I couldn't do a single thing in Linux properly. At least I could open file managers and do the really basic stuff, but I couldn't really do a bit more advanced stuff, such as installing a Windows program on Linux. But once I've learned it and I've done it, the thing is that if you watch this video and you just watch this video and don't do it, if you don't practice using Wine, you're never going to get good at it. So the best way to get good at Linux, I guess, is to just start using Linux. If you're uncomfortable with using Linux as your main operating system, just throw in a virtual machine. Because I can't really throw in a virtual machine inside of this computer that I'm using, because I actually said it only has 2 gigabytes of RAM, and I kind of need all that RAM for the main operating system. And I'm actually comfortable with using Linux as my main operating system right now. I used Manjaro previously, and now I switched to Kali because I need to do a bit of penetration testing stuff and things like that. So I didn't really get the idea of, like, install all the programs in Manjaro, then run it, troubleshoot it, things like that. So I just thought, like, I would install Kali Linux, and it already has a bunch of tools, and it has the tools I need. So I really don't need to, get that old tools in Manjaro and set up my workspace. I can just install Kali Linux and be ready to go. So that's probably it for this video. If you guys like this video, like it. If you disliked it, dislike it. Comment down below why you disliked it or why you liked it. Throw some suggestions for next video, perhaps what you guys want to know. I can probably do any clear any doubts for you, software related, like how to do stuff in Android or Linux or Windows. Throw a bunch of doubts in the comment section, and I will make videos